to the Green Thumb Nursery. How can I help you? Okay, so you've just moved in. Well, it's great to have you here in Shoreville. I know you'll really like the place. We have a nice oceanfront view from most homes in the village, as well as a lot of great neighbors and local farms and products that make it really nice to just plant your roots, no pun intended, and start your life here. So I can assume that you are in need of some seeds, flowers, crops. What can I do for you? Alright, so you are starting a farm. Alright, perfect. What kind of plot are we working with? Do you have open land? Do you have a fenced-in area adjacent to your home? Okay, so you have a medium-sized fenced-in plot. That's great. It helps keep some of the wild animals or just village roaming creatures from getting in and feeding on or trampling, damaging your crops, flowers, anything like that. All right, well, that's perfect. What are the primary needs that you are looking for this evening? Okay, so you just like to browse our selection of seeds for starting your farm. All right, well, as you can see, we do have a large variety of plants, flowers, shrubs, crops, all kinds of things, fruits. I think that we could probably find something that will suit your needs. I can just give you a quick tour and an overview of what we have to offer if that works for you. I'm also happy to inform you that we are running a special this evening. Any purchase comes with a watering can that you can use on your farm. Alright, so you can get your seeds that you need as well as a watering can to feed them. How does that sound? Alright, perfect. Well, let's go ahead and let's take a look at our primary stall behind me and take a look at our primary crops. Alright, well, follow me. And here we are. As I said before, we do have a very large variety of crops that we have for sale. They are premium seeds, of course, which means that we grow, harvest, and repackage them ourselves. So we can completely ensure and guarantee the quality and quantity of each packet of seeds. Alright, well, I know that a lot of villagers here like to buy local and keep the local biome as natural and organic as possible instead of bringing in seeds and non-native species. And we do have a variety of biomes surrounding Shoreville that allows us to grow and harvest seeds that you would not usually find in a normal village. So I think you'll be impressed. But first, let's go ahead and go over the primary common crops that we have. These are usually your food or ingredients for food, as well as for raising animals, things like that. Okay, perfect. Well, I'll just start and stop me if you are interested in purchasing any of them. Okay. Let's start with our most common. We have a nice variety of carrots here. Our Shoreville carrots are really, I think, second to none in terms of quality. This packet will get you started with a nice plot of carrots that are really great for either food sources or really common for raising rabbits or pigs even. Right, yeah, I can just give you a brief overview of what to expect if you are interested in farming carrots. Of course. Well, the carrots, like most of the items in this stall, these are high light needed crops, so it means that you are going to need to have ample lighting. These are not going to be good for caves, or if you have a basement, you don't want to grow these indoors. You want these in a full an area of full sun availability. So make sure that you don't plant it too close to any of the cherry blossoms or regular trees that we have in this village, and they should have absolutely no problem growing. They are moderate speed growth, so it's usually about 8 stages. Only 4 of those stages you'll actually notice a change, but even if it seems like your carrot has kind of paused its growth cycle, it's probably just in a non-visual stage, which means that it's going through changes internally that you won't really see visually. And similarly to our potatoes, in which I'll go over in just a second, the nice thing about these carrots here is that each carrot, after it's fully matured and you pluck it from the hydrated dirt, which of course they all do grow better in hydrated soil, just make sure you keep that in mind. Good thing you're going to get a watering can if you do purchase some of these seeds this evening. But for each carrot that you harvest, that is, you will actually receive anywhere from usually 2 to 5 full carrots. So it might look like there's just one plant in the ground after it fully matures, but once you pick it out of the ground, you'll notice that you'll get always at least 2, but even sometimes up to 5, depending on the quality and time of year in which you plant it. But the soil here in Shoreville is, I think, some of the highest quality in the area, so I bet that you'll get closer to 5 each harvest. Sure? And I'll let you in on a little bit of a secret. All, or I guess most of the crops here, they will actually grow a bit quicker if you do apply just a bit of bone meal into the plant. It just helps fertilize and speed up. Usually we'll skip a growth cycle or I guess growth stage or 2. So it's kind of a little bit of a green thumb trick. Feel free to use. All right. Sure. I like to make sure that I allow any potential customer to inspect and listen and hear that those seeds are inside and not smashed or inadequately packaged. A good and quality seed packaging will allow that sound of free-flowing and gently rattling seeds inside. A package that's not been packaged properly or stored correctly sometimes gets smashed inside, and those seeds will become clumped together and you won't hear that shake sound, which is a sign not to purchase it. So we have carrots if that's something you would be interested in, and I will double back at the end and give you an opportunity for me to procure a few of these packets if you'd like to wait and purchase at the end. All right, perfect. Like I said, we also have the potatoes, which are very similar to the carrots. High sun needs, which all of these crops will be, grow quicker in hydrated soil. Bone meal will speed them up and can usually be used, or I guess harvested and receive 2 to 5 potatoes. Potatoes are a little bit better for pig farming, but those carrots will give you the added bonus of also helping to raise rabbits. Of course. Well, moving on, let's see. Let's go over our beetroots. They are quite popular. As you can hear, those seeds are a bit larger. But just like the carrots before them, they are packaged to perfection and are extremely easy to plant and grow. Sure, you can have a little listen. Right. Oh, yes, I can tap to make sure that all of the seeds remain loose. I can see that you have a keen eye for seed quality. Were you a farmer in your last village you lived in? I thought so. You looked like the type who appreciates working with the earth and plants. All right. Excellent. I knew that these would hold up to even the strictest of scrutiny, that is. Okay, so the beetroots. These are a bit different than the carrots or potatoes. They actually will yield one singular beet, but the nice thing is that they yield 1 to 4 seeds that can be replanted along with that fully matured beet. So what's nice is they are a very renewable crop that you don't have to sacrifice a full beet in order to replant. So like the carrot, you need to actually replant a full carrot or a potato in order to regrow a new plant. So that's one potato or carrot that you can't eat or use to farm or raise pigs or rabbits. The beets won't give you that issue. So the primary reason that our villagers and regular customers would go with a beet instead of a potato or carrot plant is that while they also are perfectly suited for raising pigs, they can also be used to create red dye. So if you are into creating your own clothing or maybe creating artisan goods that you can sell using dye, these would be perfect for it. Of course, yes, high light needs as well as quick growing with bone meal and hydrated soil, that's right. Alright, the beetroot. And last, before we move on to one of the other stalls, the other plants that we have here in this stall are our very high quality and premium wheat. The wheat is one of the most purchased and used crop that we have to offer here. It has 8 stages, just like the potato and the carrots, as well as the regular light and hydrated soil needs. But what's really useful about the wheat here is that it can be used to herd your larger, or I guess the larger variety of farm animals. So anywhere from cows, sheep, and goats. They can be herded and fed and raised with wheat. So while the carrots and potatoes can get you pigs and rabbits, and beetroot can also help with pigs, the wheat is the direction you're going to want to go if you have a wider variety of farm animals that you are looking to add to your wonderful farm, as well as the wonderful cooking options with great breads and baking options for pastries, cakes, things like that. Wheat can really serve a wide variety of purposes. Oh, it's extremely hardy, easy to grow, and even easier to harvest. So I can't recommend it enough if you think that you might want to raise some other animals in the future. So if you would like to maybe create your own bed or utilize that beetroot red dye, maybe you would like to get yourself some sheep, and with that you're going to need wheat. Right. Alright, well, would you like to head over to our next stand and see some of the other options that we have? Alright, right this way. Alright, and welcome to our second stall. This stall, we have a nice selection of melons and pumpkins. Melons and pumpkins are unlike the primary and common crops. These are not used to breed or herd any kind of animals, or not really for as much of your primary uses on your farm. These are more just for eating or creating other items. So these are almost items that I would suggest adding to a farm. I would not have these as your primary source of income or crops, but of course that's completely up to you. But these are great items to match with some of the crops that we just discussed. But I'll start with the melons first. We do have a really nice selection of melon seeds here. These are some of the highest quality melons that you're going to find in the area. These seeds are much larger than the seeds at our last stall. and they grow, well, much larger plants. So how this is going to work, you're going to have one shoot from each seed, and each shoot or stem, if you will grow one melon. And that stem will continue to reproduce melons as soon as the pre-existing melon is harvested. Right. And the nice thing about the melons is that for each melon that you harvest, you're going to get anywhere from 3 to, I think, around 7 slices on average. So, of course, my soil at my personal farm is the highest quality because I always use bone meal, so I usually always get around 7. So I think if you do take proper care and ensure that your planting techniques are well thought out, I think you'll get quite a few slices per melon. And these slices are just, well, frankly delicious. So if you are looking for a tasty snack or an additional food option for your farm, the melons are going to be perfect for that. Right. And next we do have a very similar plant with our homegrown pumpkins. The pumpkins are almost identical in growing habits and harvest habits to the melon, except their function is just a bit different. These are also the largest seeds that we have available. As you can hear, just by the sound, they are quite large and don't slide around the package as easily as some of these smaller selections, but I assure you that their quality is all but the same. But the pumpkin, what's great about this is that beyond the slices that you can eat, they are also great for crafting. They can be used to craft fun, seasonal structures and resources like the jack-o'-lantern, things like that. And they can also be used for some food ingredients for pumpkin pies and things like that. So they do have a bit more function and uses than the melons, but in my opinion not as tasty as just a fresh melon. So it's really up to you, and it's kind of just a bit of preference really. But if you are a fan of the Halloween spooky season, then the pumpkin is going to be hard to pass up. Alright, well, would you care to go over and see our additional stall? Perfect, let's go. The last stand that I'm going to show you this evening, these are just some of our miscellaneous options. Currently, in this season, we have a nice sweetberry bush. The sweetberry bush is unique in the fact that it does take a bit of an experienced farmer to grow and properly care for and harvest this fruit-bearing bush. It does produce, as you can see, the supple red sweetberries, which can be used to eat and also raise and breed foxes. So if I'm not sure, you didn't exactly explain where your farm is located in the village, but I know some of our outskirt farms are situated just a bit closer to the forest. If that's the case, you might from time to time see some foxes, and if you would like to add them to your farm, the sweet berries are the way to go there. They just can't resist them. Right. Well, I did also mention that it does take a bit of an experienced farmer to properly raise sweetberry bushes, and that's primarily because of the potential injuries and harm that they can cause a farmer that's unaware, or I guess novice. So they can be quite prickly, and if you do happen to brush against them or unfortunately walk through them, they will cause quite a bit of damage. So I would make sure that you maybe have an extra bit of fencing around them to properly avoid or keep others or your other farm animals away from them. I don't recommend planting these where they are in easy access to your other animals, because they do tend to run through them and sustain injuries. Right, but other than that, they are really just hands-off. They'll grow on their own rather quickly. They are only a 4-stage plant, so you can just kind of plant them, water them once, twice, and they'll pretty much be good to go on their own. So a bit low maintenance, but you kind of need to keep your wits about you if you are moving around them or working around them. The other option that we have this time of year is the sunflower. The sunflower is really unique because it's our only other crop that we have with us that is utilized as a dye. So if you are looking to add a yellow dye to your crafting repertoire, then the sunflower is going to be perfect for that. But with the added bonus of attracting, herding, and breeding bees. So if you would like to get some beehives going at your farm, then the sunflower is what you're going to need to do to attract and bring maybe some wild bees to your farm to get a hive started. A nice option, if you already have a pre-existing hive, is to have or purchase some sunflowers and plant them in close proximity to those said hives. Hives that have sunflowers that are easily reachable by your bees will produce more honey. So it's just a little bit of an experienced tip from one farmer to another. All right, well, let's just head back to the center of our location here and go over what you would like to purchase. Okay, let's go. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed the tour of the selection and products that we have to offer. Are there any seeds that interest you or things, plants, flowers that you would like to add to your farm with you? All right, I knew you had the beetroot in mind. All right, the carrot as well. And the melons. Okay, let me go ahead. There we are. A nice beetroot packet. Just one? All right, perfect. Well, as you can hear, there are a plethora of seeds inside, so you can get quite a few mature beetroot plants out of this one packet. But if you do really enjoy growing them and would like more, don't hesitate to come back. All right. Oh, and there they are, carrots. As you can hear, a bit more of a delicate seed, but once again, you can get quite a few plants out of this one packet. As you can hear, there are a lot of seeds in this packet. All right, and your carrots, and oh, that's right, the melons. And like we discussed before, those melon seeds are quite large in comparison to your beetroot and carrot seeds, but just like the others, there are enough included that you can get a lot of planting out of this one packet. I know you're really going to enjoy these tasty treats. All right, well, thank you so much for shopping with us this evening. Of course, you can pay with emeralds. Right, it's 1 emerald per packet. Okay, thank you. Well, like I said, please do enjoy your planting. Please swing by anytime to let me know how your farm's going and to pick up more seeds. We do have a rotating inventory depending on the season and climate at the time, so please do enjoy. Take care, my friend.